So you have no idea what to do, and you're at a loss, and you've been fumbling around for a while, not knowing which way to turn. You don't know which way is up. Here's what you're gonna do: you're gonna step away from the situation. And I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. I have a personal experience with this, and it has completely led me to such a beautiful path in life over and over and over again. Like, I've done this every single time that I felt lost or not knowing what my purpose was, or not knowing if I should stay in this relationship or if I should move to this city. So listen up. I hope you stay the full 5 or 6 minutes that we're going to spend time together today. Also, I'm going to get some really insane delts because holding up my phone for the past 15 days I've been doing videos has been really good. And I think I'm lopsided because my right side is bigger than my left. So we're going to switch real quick on a completely unrelated note. So I was in the hospital about dead. Not really, but I had just woken up from my body being heated up from 107-degree fever, artificial fever. And the reason I was in a hospital was to get rid of my Lyme disease that I had for 12 years. I suffered for 12 years in shackles with chronic illness. And in those 12 years, I was able to join the military, get married, go through a bunch of trauma, heal a bunch of trauma. But I always felt a little bit lost. And especially once I got out of the Navy, you guys, if you know any veterans, like, hug them, love on them, and check on them because they're probably not okay once they get out immediately. It is one of the hardest transitions I've ever experienced in my life. And you go through this shedding of old skin. You not only lose a job, you lose friends, you lose purpose and meaning, and you lose people checking on you. So check on your veterans. But my point to that is every time I felt lost in my life, I would step away from the situation. And I know it seems like counterproductive to step back and like kind of let your mind rest from the situation, but I promise you, you will find the answer, and God will give you the answer once you create enough space from the situation. Have you guys ever noticed that, like, we are in such a hustle culture that people say that you need to do more and be more and constantly make yourself busy? The world tells you to do that, but God tells you to be still and trust in Him, and that He will fight for you if you only be still, in Exodus 14:14. And I think we get inundated with all this like motivational YouTubes and level up here and buy this course here. And I was definitely into all of that. Like, I bought every single course under the book to try to grow my YouTube. And it wasn't until I surrendered and I said, literally, you can go back to that video 2 weeks ago, you guys. I was at 500 subscribers. And now God has tripled that off that one video. First of all, I want to thank anybody who's here because of that video. It was all God. And second off, my point is, if you are in a situation where you feel like you have no idea what to do or what the answer is, step away, create space. The second that you can create space is when your subconscious mind can come to the forefront and say, hey, maybe this is what you want. The second that you create space is when the spirit can move in you and say, hey, maybe let's take this path. Let's go explore this situation, or maybe you shouldn't be with that person. Back to when I was in the hospital waking up from 107-degree fever. I was working for the government for a while and for a couple of years. And this was after I got out of the military. I didn't know what to do. I have my top secret security clearance. I'm like, okay, I will just keep using that, even though I knew the work was life-sucking. It wasn't filling my soul, but it was money, right? And I live somewhere where you really can't have a job. You can't not have a job and survive. So as I was imagining a golden thread from me to the Lord while I was being healed, I woke up, and it was the first time, you guys, in 12 years I didn't have brain fog. And it was the first time I woke up out of that being sedated, hot and sweaty and feverish, that I finally felt like I could have a clear conversation with God, and my thoughts were so transparently clear and omnipresent and beautiful that God told me, you should be a functional nutritionist and you should help people on their healing journey because you've been through this. You've been to hell and back with chronic illness, gut issues, anxiety, depression, sleep issues, all these things that you could help people with. And it wasn't until I stopped thinking about what I wanted to do, because I knew I wanted to get out of the government work. It's not me, you guys. I like to be barefoot and just free. And chained to a desk was slowly killing me. It wasn't until I took a step back, God was able to answer my prayer and answer me, like, wholeheartedly. And you know when God's speaking to you, when, like, it's your spirit that's moving. Like, you get that prickle in the back of your skull, or you get that warm, buttery feeling in your stomach. Like, it's different for everyone, but you know when it's God, and you know when it's the world and your own thoughts talking to you. So it couldn't have been anybody else, because here I am on this journey. I am now a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. Basically, I get to help people on their health journeys. Like, the things that doctors don't test for, I get to test, run labs for people, blood work and saliva and urine and fecal to see if you have parasites. And it's so cool because I feel like I personally relate, and I wouldn't have been able to hear God if I didn't take a step back. And I was kind of forced to, right? Like, being forced under and put in sedation, like, made me be still. But at the same time, when I came out of it, like, it's just so cool when the Spirit moves in you. And you have to seek it, and you have to be still to hear it. If I was busying myself and, like, constantly wondering what I was going to do and, like, worried about the next step, I wouldn't have found his voice. Like, I wouldn't have been able to be still long enough to hear him. And maybe that's what you're going through right now. It's like God's trying to tell you something, but are you being still long enough to hear it? Are you able to take a step back? Whatever the situation may be, should you leave him? Should you stay with him? Like, maybe you should ask different questions. Maybe it should be, hey, God, I want your will. What is your will? Not this or that, right? Because sometimes God can take this, that, and then have, like, an option C that you never knew was possible. But, hey, God, what do you want? And how can I glorify you in that? And I know sometimes it's really hard, and there's a lot of heavy things that you guys are dealing with. For people who are dealing with cancer, or just like a divorce, or like really heavy things that no one should ever have to face, pray about it. Be in the presence of God with it. Lay it at his feet. Tell him everything that you're going through. He wants to hear. He wants to be part of our journey. And I think that's the most beautiful part about God, is like, people believe he's just like this unknowing presence that they can't feel, touch, taste, experience. But you can do all of those things. Like, you can experience him. You just, literally, me and you right now, where two or more gather, there he is. We're talking about Jesus right now. He's in the room. Do you feel him? Like, he's right behind you. He's in front of you. He's behind you. He's within you. He's around you. So take this time to step back and say, hey, this is what's going on. And I don't know which direction to go here, but I know you know. And I know that you're here, and you're also in the future here. And you're in the past, and you're in the thousands of tomorrows to come. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that basically means he doesn't change. His word doesn't change. He desires a relationship with you, and he's chasing you. So if you got anything out of this, let me know. I feel like a lot of times the Spirit just takes over, and from personal experience, I like to just share just a 30-something-year-old who went through a ton of trauma and now is trying to help others. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.